Alright, it's 2 a.m. right now in Rome, and apparently this is the time to make videos, because that's when creativity comes in and one of the most important thoughts decide to actually show up. But Kiara actually did encourage me to do it right now, because it appears to be the only moment to make something happen, this very moment, and the message that really hit us in the middle of the night, really wanted to share with you all, was a topic that touched us profoundly. And we were very, very thunderstruck at the idea of how humans just live their life. And I know there are countless numbers of videos on YouTube that explain how little time you actually have in life, how little time you have left. I mean, I've watched a video where there's a guy that shows you that if you're 20 something, you literally have 11 years of life left because of work and everything you gotta do. So now I don't have the numbers to show you all that, but I can assure you that it is very true. Sorry. It just I think that a lot of people in the world are looking for the same thing, which is basically getting out of this machine. And the machine, I mean society. It's a very sensitive topic. It's a very sensitive topic because many people would have a hard time even listening to these words, although a lot of guys and girls would, because it is a topic that would interest anybody, which is how to live a very free life. I think it would trigger a lot of people because, of course, the first response for a lot of people that are so engaged with their lifestyle would be, well, I have to do it. I mean, when you talk about living in this society, you have to follow a certain path. You have to go through school and getting a job and making all of that happening. Even though I don't think I've ever met anyone who actually loves it. Someone who's in their store and their thing, doing whatever they're doing, and really loves it, based on averagely speaking, of what society offers you in terms of a job. And to me, sometimes it is shocking when I'm walking through the street and there are different. You're walking, you're shopping. I mean, shopping, whatever. You see the stores, these boxes with humans in it, and you see their faces. It is actually so striking. There's an heavy. You're never gonna see a person there like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. No, even if thunderstorms are outside, people will love to be out there. People just love to be the guys on the street walking and deciding it's better to be outside on the street not having the money to buy something than be inside selling something. And I don't know. It's just sound I think it is profound in our generation how we are still looking for people looking for online businesses, people looking for traveling in a way which is more accessible to anybody. And I come from a different background. I'm not the average 20, 27 years old. I spent big chunk of my life as adult life traveling. I had the chance to do that. So I incorporate different points of view in terms of what the world looks like and how life it is in different places and how it doesn't have to be the way they taught you when you go through school. And it doesn't necessarily have to be let's study for 15 years and let's do a job that I do not like for other 20, and then it's really hustle to make to support my family for the rest of my life until I go to pension, and maybe that too won't happen if you're living in a not so going well country. So all this conversation at 2 a.m. to tell you that it is insanity to live following that. I mean, I think it is insanity. I mean, I have the luck on my side to have found a partner that so easily sees that, so that I can plan a life in an easier way with someone next to me who will want to go with this, want to make the same choices, meaning like I think both my partner and I wouldn't never settle for something that wouldn't feel like, oh, this is freedom. Would never settle. It doesn't even matter. Rather, vagabonding around the world than being in a box 8 hours a day. Unless you're doing something you love. I mean, if there's something that you love, then go for it. It's amazing. You want to spread that. You want to give it to the world. You want to give it back to other people. But if it isn't what you love, then you really have to think about it, because one week becomes a month becomes a year becomes a decade is a lifetime, and it goes like this. It really goes like that. So to me, the point I wanted to share is this is not a light topic. This is not something that you shouldn't think about, because if even not doing anything about it, like not really following what you want and more accepting whatever society will give you, it is a choice. At the end, that too, it is a choice. And so, I mean, if you go at night feeling like something is off and life shouldn't really build this way. When I mean this way, I mean commercially speaking. You basically spending your entire life buying something on that a commercial tells you need. So I don't know for what. It's like really question, what do you need in life? I mean, do you need the next phone that has a less bezel? Like all these phones are going for this fucking race, so they have less bezel, more screen, more everything. Let's spend another $1,000 to buy another iPhone this year. Like, do you really need that? Do you need all the stuff you buy? What do you actually need? I mean, when I ask this question to myself, the answer is like, it's shocking. It's like, it is so little. I need so little. I need, the thing I need the most is my own time to do what I feel like doing in the very moment. And most of the time, the thing that brings me the most joy is very simple things, like to cook some good food, being with the person I love, and maybe painting. And it doesn't require that much, It doesn't require that much. And so really ask yourself if you are at the mercy of society. If you're basically following a life because somebody on Instagram told you so, someone thinner than you, someone more successful than you, all that bullshit that it just put it in your head so you can live a life based on somebody else's preference. And so if you really listen to what you want, you can feel there, you can explore. There's so many possibilities. This world is endless, and there's so many things you can do, and it can evolve. And I think my biggest suggestion would be really follow your heart. To me, my biggest joy, which is what I want to do, and if I want to convey it in a world, like, I don't want to call it a job, I want to call it my participation to the planet. It is to serve others. And the best way I found myself would be to invite people to see who they really are. If you want to put it in short terms, invite people to the higher potential to really live a life with freedom, love, and these high qualities that come from a different vibration within the heart. And it's what changed my life in many different aspects. And I want to share it with a video with you, or even if it's a friend in person, 5 minutes. What I love, it is serving. Doing that brings me so much joy. I could cry right now thinking about it. So that's really what I want to do, and I think you should find that too, because once you do that, then it's not a I'm gonna get there process. It won't be I'm gonna get there process like one day when that will be done I'll be happy. No, you're happy every day because you're doing what you love. So you have arrived because you're doing it. And by following that, it will expand into something you can't even comprehend, manipulate, or create on your own. Just the universe will give it to yourself. And so, I would invite you to think about that. Invite you to really think what it means to live in society's rules. And if you spend a lot of time in nature, if you ever had that experience, it will blow your mind how easy it would be to actually understand it. It's crazy to live in any other mean, any other way. And besides following your own heart. And when you're in nature, you're surrounded by a lot of nature. I guess it's almost as if you can hear God speaking, and it's so obvious that you need so little. You're not meant to spend 12 hours into a box serving people. I mean, that's not serving people. It's not really what you want to do. Selling people clothes that you don't even care. I mean, usually people have that face when they're when you're in a box in a store. They're just like on their phone. They're living another life on their phone, and they're just waiting for the break to come and then to go home. That's what they do, and so, and you can totally tell when there's someone who's doing their job that they love. You love being there. It's a whole experience, and usually people that love doing their job, they're the best at it. They're experts. If it's a soccer player, if it is an artist, if it is anybody who really loves their job, they're always the best at it. So that's my suggestion. It would definitely be follow what you love. So every day it would actually feel like you're not waiting for something to happen, and then I really consider that, yeah, living that way to produce, and so somebody else can consume. it's actually insanity. And you should really think about that, because I think that we get so accustomed, so used to such a low state of consciousness that we wouldn't even think about questions that actually matters, can make life worth living in freedom, in love, the way it should be lived. Who wouldn't want that? So thank you for listening to this at my 2 a.m. whatever you are, and I wish this message can go right through your heart and make you feel aligned the way I'm feeling right now, more, that can put a smile on your face and spread to others.